Welcome to Open Your Reality, everyone. My name is Chad. In this video, I will be talking about the 10 illusions of reality. And this is based on Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch, which is a trilogy that came out towards the late 90s, early 2000s. My late friend Jason Amoruso recommended this series to me, and I promptly read it. And I thought it was the best series of books that I had read since the Seth Speaks books, which I read in the mid-90s. So I am going to impart to you the 10 illusions, and I think that they will help you because I'm pretty sure you don't know them all. Just to give you a little background, Neale Donald Walsch was really down on his luck at one point in his life, and he just blurted out, God, what do I have to do to get ahead? What's going on? Why are things the way they are? I just want some answers. I want to know, what's the rule book here, damn it? And all of a sudden, a voice started speaking to him, which he thought was God. Now, we don't know. This is subjective. He could have been hearing voices. He could have been making this up, or maybe it was really God. But he grabbed a legal pad and a pen. He started writing down, and out of it came one of the most uncommon dialogues that has ever existed. And there have been people who have talked to God before and written about it, but not in the way that Neale Donald Walsch did. And I found these books to be very enlightening. And if he did make it all up, it was really good. Just the tone of it all. You could tell the difference between Neale Donald Walsch and God in the book. God sounds very benevolent, very wise, and humble, and he has a sense of humor. So I want to get right into it. And the first illusion is of separation. And the crowd that watches my videos, you guys are very astute, very adept. And you understand this. But separation is the grandest illusion in all of reality because we are all one. So the biggest trick in existence is making us think we're separate from each other. And that's what God has done. Why? Because if we're one big monoblock of consciousness, not much is happening. But when we're all split up into a million, trillion, quadrillion pieces, we're all interacting with each other. It creates a much more complex tapestry of communication and feedback. And we are all the eyes and ears of God, and God is experiencing himself in a myriad of ways through us. By the way, I'm just making all this up on the spot, just ad-libbing, but hey, that's what I'm here to do. So everything is connected. And you could say that the parts make up the whole make up the parts. You, me, the trees, the stars, we're all literally the same thing, experiencing itself. This is not a metaphor. This is not figurative. This is a literal description of reality according to Neale Donald Walsch and also according to many spiritual or New Age pundits, because this is probably one of the fundamental tenets of the New Age, that we are all one. So again, not poetic language. The Conversations with God books claim that this is actually how reality works. Now, why does this matter? Because when you harm yourself, you're harming another person. And when you harm another person, you're harming yourself. And this is what we've been doing down through the ages until today. Why? Because most people have a lower level of consciousness. But in the new ethics, it's based on recognition of unity, not commandments. So you don't need rules when you're understanding we're all one being. And every act you do ripples through interconnected webs of existence. I believe it was the great Gladiator in the movie Gladiator, where the hero character said, what we do in life echoes in eternity. What we do in life echoes in eternity. So nothing that you do exists in isolation. Everything that you do affects the whole system. Every act of cruelty wounds the fabric we all share. Violence tears at the connection that binds all existence together. And every time you perform a loving act, you raise the system up. Got it? Good. Moving on to number 2. God is not punitive. Basically, God doesn't punish and judge. There's no judgment. There's no hell. This is in Neale Donald Walsch's view. He really dismantles the traditional God. So in the traditional view, God is seen as this cosmic lawgiver. He rewards, he punishes. And most of us grow up with this angry, judgmental God watching our every move that we need to atone for. And we have heaven and hell as the carrot and stick. You do good, you go to heaven. You do bad, you burn forever. That's the old model. Conversation with God says God does not judge. This is the game changer that really frees people up from fear-based religion. In the new understanding, God is pure, unconditional love and acceptance. There are no conditions, there are no requirements, and there's no hoops to jump through. There's no needs to be met. There's no offense. There's no punishment. So, look, if God is complete and needs nothing, how could you possibly offend God? How could you possibly give God something if he already has everything and if he is everything? So, another new understanding is that God has no ego requiring worship. So a truly infinite being doesn't need you to tell it how great it is. It doesn't need you to go to church. It doesn't need you to go through all these rituals. And it doesn't need you to read books of prayer. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing so if it makes you better and makes the system better. But in an existential sense, in a pragmatic sense, God does not require anything from us. And hell is not divine retribution. It's just separation from knowing who we are and who you are. So this is what changes, right? It removes this whole thing of God is not punitive, right? This illusion that God punishes. It removes the foundation of fear-based spirituality, so you're no longer motivated by terror of eternal damnation. It replaces spirituality with love. So now you can approach the divine from curiosity and love instead of fear. And the question shifts from how do I avoid punishment to how do I express my highest nature? So it's a completely different motivation for living a good life. Totally reframes it. And motivation becomes internal alignment, not external coercion. So you do the right thing because it's who you are, because you know you should do the right thing, not because you're afraid of being punished. Got it? Good. Moving on to number 3, you are a co-creator of your reality. And yes, again, this is one of the fundamental tenets that most New Age teachers or gurus espouse. The core principle is that life equals process of creation, not discovery. So you're not uncovering what's already there. You're actually making it up as you go. So your thoughts, your words, your actions equal creative forces. And these aren't just passive reflections. They're literally shaping what happens next. Neil Donald Walsch would always say, become the grandest version of who you are at that time. So you're not a victim of circumstance. You're the author. And I know that could be difficult for many people to take, that they're accountable for everything in their lives. And I'm not saying that things don't happen, but in the grand sense of things, we have to take accountability because if we are co-creators of this world, whatever we experience, we create. So you want to stop saying, this happened to me, and start saying, I created this experience, and just own it. Sometimes that's on a subconscious level. Now, sophisticated understanding of consciousness as a creative force would say this goes way deeper than just thinking positive and everything will be great. Because every choice that you make shapes your physical experience. Buddha said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. So each decision is like a brushstroke, painting the canvas of your life. And if there are parallel or multiple realities, then every time you make a decision, you branch off a particular reality and you cut off another one. So you're literally writing your story with every decision. You're the screenwriter, the director, the lead actor of your own movie. Now here's the challenge in this. The new way demands radical personal responsibility. No more blaming your parents, your boss, the economy, or the universe. It also dissolves comfort of blame. Let's face it, blame feels good temporarily, but this teaching asks you to let it go. Neil Donald Walsch wants you to just let it be. But it offers radical empowerment on the flip side. See, the flip side is that you are completely responsible for your own life. And if you unconsciously created what you don't want, that means you can consciously create differently. So whatever you made without awareness, you can remake with the correct awareness. So present moment equals blank canvas, not a trap. So right now is where all your creative power lives. not in the past, not 10 seconds from now, not in the future, right now. That brings me to one of my favorite quotes, which was from the movie Vanilla Sky, and it is, "Every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around." By the way, this video is going to be a little bit longer than I thought, so maybe I'll just do the first 5, and if you guys want the next 5, I can make that video tomorrow. Number 4 is life's purpose, from knowing to being. Let me explain. The soul's mission is to move from conceptual knowledge to experiential knowledge. It's the difference between reading about chocolate and actually tasting it. And let me tell you something. I taste chocolate every day in the form of pure, unadulterated, 100% cacao powder. Nope, this is not a commercial. I'm just letting you know. So your soul already knows it is love, peace, joy, and abundance. At the deepest level, you already know who you are. You are God. You are part of the grand force that makes up everything in this universe, that one primordial consciousness. But knowing intellectually is not the same as experiencing or expressing it. See, the soul wants to feel and express what it already truly knows. But why are we in physical existence? Why do we need to be in physical existence if we're already perfect incarnations of the one divine spirit? Souls incarnate to experience their highest nature. That's literally why we're here in our bodies on this planet. It's almost like a game. It's almost like a video game where we start off at a lower level and see if we can work our way back up. It's the difference between knowing you're loving and expressing love in a relationship. See, one is abstract, the other is real and tangible and transformative. So here's the reframe challenge. Difficulties, not punishments or mistakes, they're the real opportunities. And every hard thing is actually a gift in disguise. A student once told me, let's see if I can get this right. Yesterday is history. No, how about this? Yeah, let's do like that. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. This moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that one. Every challenge that requires courage equals a chance to experience your bravery. Because you can't know you're brave without doing something that is brave. So every situation requiring forgiveness gives you the chance to know yourself as forgiving. And again, that's why we incarnate in the flesh, to keep testing ourselves. The person who wronged you gave you the opportunity to express your divine nature. And sometimes it's not a person. Sometimes it could be an institution. It could be society. It could be anything. So the goal is not to escape the physical world, like so many people want to hack it and get out of here. But the goal is to physically engage it as much as possible in a way that you are able to express your highest self. So life isn't something to transcend, to hack, to leave. It's basically the playground where you get to play big. And big. How many of you have seen that movie? You remember that movie? Wasn't that awesome? 80s movies were so good. Okay, getting up to number 5, and I'll make this the last one because this video went way longer than I thought. It's been a long day, which is love versus fear. So you have the two fundamental energies. Everything in the universe is based on love and fear. Tom Campbell said this too. Every decision you make is some degree of love, some degree of fear. So it's what I like about that is it breaks decisions down, feelings, emotions, everything is broken down into a binary code of love or fear, 0 or 1. So all human action is based in either love or fear. And every single thing you do comes from one of these two places. There's not more than these two emotions. It's just these two. These are the fundamental polarities. And every let's say we have a emotion or feeling is some type of degree on the love and fear spectrum. So jealousy is a type of fear and gratitude is a type of love. You see what I'm talking about? So every feeling or behavior emerges from one of these two, love or fear. And love characteristics, they expand you. They open you up. They make your consciousness bigger. They provide you more choice. They keep you anchored in the present. Love makes you bigger, more available, and more here. And it also reveals truth, and it heals wounds. See, it's not just time that heals all wounds, it's love. Love brings things into the light and it makes them whole. It's a way of creating connection, acceptance, and creation. Love builds bridges and says yes to what is. It's opportunity. It's everything. But on the other hand, we have the fear characteristics. These contract you. They shut you down. They close you down. They withdraw you. It's like Hitler. Hitler was binary. It was either like, I'm going to take over the world and I'm going to destroy all those people that have wronged me, and I'm going to create a dynasty that lasts 1,000 years, or everybody's going to die and nobody deserves anything. You see, that is extreme fear. That's contraction. So fear makes you smaller. It makes you defensive. It makes you unavailable. It conceals, it harms, it takes away opportunity. Fear hides in the shadows and causes damage. It's a force of separation, rejection, and destruction. Fear builds walls and says nope to reality. Sometimes it's good to just say no, but not this time. So here's the practice, right? Every thought, every word, every action originates from one of these two places. Just remember that, meaning love or fear. So the work is simply, okay, here it is. Let me say it again. The work is simply noticing which one you're operating from. Recognize which energy are you in. Are you coming from a place of love, or are you coming from a place of fear? And that's where true transformation can happen. I want you to consciously choose to return to love. If you make a decision that's fearful, recognize it, make it good in whatever way you have to, and then return to love. You always have the power to shift from fear back to love. So it's not about ignoring danger. It's about facing reality from love and not fear. Because you can acknowledge real threats without being run by fear. You can just run away from the bear. Okay. And fear is natural, but it's a different kind of fear. It's the kind of fear where when you're running from an animal, it's saving your life. It's a little bit different. So in this fifth illusion, you really need to pay attention. Are you responding or are you reacting? Love responds thoughtfully. Fear reacts automatically. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this topic for today. And again, if you want me to go ahead and make another video talking about the next 5 illusions, there's 10 in all, let me know and I'll be glad to do it. I don't know what you guys think. There's so many different topics that I can make videos on. And this is just one of 1,000 or 5,000 or 5 quintillion. I don't know. There's no end to it. So let me know. And thank you for staying with me. Thank you for being part of the show. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.